Today I'm going to introduce you to our GF150 combination furnace, boiler, and domestic water heater all in one. This is a fully modulating furnace with a condensing boiler with an AFUE efficiency of 95%. It is a combi boiler, so you get your domestic hot water output at 3.6 gallons per minute. You can do forced air heating from 300 CFM up to 1200 CFM with a maximum forced air heating output of 80,000 and a minimum of 13,200. The unit is air conditioning ready and it's pre-wired for that if you want to put an A coil on. It will support up to 3 tons of cooling. And when you hook up the hydronic portion and do either in-floor heating or hydronic heating through the building, it can support up to 120,000 BTUs worth of hydronic heat. The combined output of the unit cannot exceed 120,000, so you can do 80,000 of forced air and then 40,000 for your in-floor, or you could do 120,000 on the in-floor by itself and then have the forced air run separately. As the unit comes from the factory, all of your water connections are on the left-hand side, and your domestic water, gas connection, condensate connection, and electrical connections can all be flipped from left to right depending on the needs of the application. Your hydronic heating connections are always on the left side and they must remain there. The return air coming from the heating system for your forced air can come into the left-hand side, right-hand side. There's a removable panel in the bottom to bring it in underneath if you want, or there's an accommodation in the rear of the appliance to bring return air ducting into the back of the unit. Now that I've given you the overall specs of the unit, let's look down front, show you where your wiring is going to go, and then we'll look at the side of the appliance and show you the ECM blower in the back and where your forced air connections would be. The front cover is removed down bottom here. Pull this piece out. For those of you that are familiar with NTI products, you may recognize this as our TRX 150 Combi, and you may be used to taking this front cover off and doing your field connections inside there. When you have a GF150, all of your field wiring is going to go onto this green circuit board at the bottom here. You have central heating thermostat for your in-floor heating or for your hydronic heating, all the way on the left here. Then you have a standard 5 or 6 wire thermostat for forced air, so RC, W1, W2, G, Y1, and Y2. One thing that is a little unique is we have a second plug here with 3 connections for Y1, Y2 in common. And this plug is used to power the AC compressor when you're using air conditioning. And that lets the GF150 control board manage the compressor. In case there's any issues with the fan, we don't want the AC compressor running and potentially freezing the coil. Off to the side here, you have a connection for a temperature sensor that goes in the plenum above the unit, an outdoor sensor for the boiler portion, and then R and C so that you can steal 24-volt power if you need it. That's all your field connections. There's a single fuse here for 24 volts, so that will power all of this control board assembly. This control board is powered separately by 120 volts. You'll make your line connections down here on line, neutral, and ground, and you can bring your wires in left or right and bring them up through the grommets in the bottom of the unit. Okay, so we've moved over to the left-hand side of the appliance here. You can see your domestic water connections here. So you have your inlet, your outlet. In the middle, you have your gas connection. And the 2 capped off fittings are the hydronic heating connections. Now those are optional, you don't have to use them. And there is a convenience outlet on both sides of the appliance. For your forced air, you can remove this panel, or you could cut a hole to put your return air duct here. And up at the top here is a removable plenum that can be taken off, and what that allows you to do when you put your air conditioner in is it keeps the height of the appliance a little bit lower so that it fits in those tighter spaces. As I said before, your return air could also come into the rear, and there is a removable hatch at the bottom so you can bring air up and inside. Next, we'll move over to the other side and have a look there. Okay, so now we've moved to the right-hand side of the appliance. You can see in the bottom here is the ECM blower. There's your motor controller, and the motor is actually this donut in the center here that controls your fan. And you could put a return air duct here. These are the plates that blank off your domestic water connections when you get this out of the factory. You would remove these 3 plates, and when you flip your domestic water connections from left to right, it is important to remember that where the outlet before was on the top, the outlet will be on the bottom if it's on the right-hand side. Because the GF150 is based on our TRX 150 Combi product, you still get the same venting options that you're used to, where you could do 2-inch venting up to 100 feet. Your air intake can go on the left or right-hand side, and if you do 3-inch venting, you can go up to 150 feet. That concludes the intro to the GF150. Thanks for watching NTI Online. Thanks for watching the video today. If you'd like to check out more videos, see the link below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for all the future updates. And also check us out on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram.